Okay, welcome to the channel. So this is my feedback from the first discussion here where we're talking about two competing businesses. Feel whether it's a good or bad thing. I think most of the people, I have to apologize first that we didn't get the discussion set up right. And so some of you couldn't see all of the discussions, but I appreciate what people have talked about. So we've got Xbox and PlayStation, got Fidelity Investments and TD Ameritrade. What Brandy brought up here was interesting between these two healthcare providers. And then we've got Ford and Chevy, Nike and Adidas. We've got a couple of people commented on Sephora and Ultra, and a couple on Nike and Adidas. Here's Target and Walmart and Megaplex and Cinemark. And we have one, we've got Felicia. I'm really glad that people used the places where they worked and looked at the competitions between, like Felicia's talking about Great Clips and Dollar Cuts. Here we've got the Coke and Pepsi. Now, this is interesting. We've got Apple and Samsung. A couple of people commented on that. So, and all the discussion is good, just showing how people or how these different businesses compete. One of the things that's interesting between Apple and Samsung, it seems like they seem like they're in competition, but their products are so similar. And there's competing products, and maybe you can talk about Google, and there's a couple other fringe phone makers, but they have pushed the prices. It's like they've got a monopoly on phones, those two companies. They push the prices to insanely high amounts. Like $1,000 for a phone is crazy. There's an article in the Wall Street Journal. I should find it, post it, but they could make basically the same features that a Samsung has for like $75. And then they're turning around, and this is just, all they wanted was 100 phones, where that seems crazy that, so they're making these phones for probably less than $100 and they're selling them for $1,000. It's just amazing. There's a lot of profit that's being made as we buy these really expensive phones. And so there's where it seems like there's competition, but maybe really not. Same thing with Adidas and Nike. Their shoes are, if you go out on some of these, like the Chinese websites and the fringe websites, you can see that they can make shoes. And I've bought a couple of pair, and I'm wearing them just to see how they compare to the Nike and the Adidas. And they're similar in the wear and tear. But they're like maybe a third or a quarter of the cost. And so I think as consumers, we need to be more, we need to make choices that maybe aren't, if we're just looking for price and quality, that maybe we're not looking to these brands. Maybe we overtrust in some of what the brands are telling us. So, and because we live in basically a fairly small world, community, we can find these things without too much effort. And so we really need to take a look at what is competition and what may seem to us like competition may really not be. So just some ideas for you. It's great, all of your back and forth with your comments. It adds a ton to the class, so I appreciate it. And hopefully you all have learned a lot in this class. And one of the things as I comment on these things, I am just going to ask you to step out a little bit further than where you normally would think about these things and take a hard look at business in general.